Are you already on Wikisana?
Welcome, dear viewers, to our format today, Natural Medicine. Overweight has many causes. We know the classics, of course, and we can't hear them anymore, like more exercise, healthy nutrition, more discipline. But of course there are also topics that are really a bit hidden in our organism, or maybe a lack of nutrients. And what all of this could be, I will discuss with my guest today, Dr. Heinz Lüscher. Stay tuned. Hello, dear Heinz, nice to have you here.
Hello, Corina.
Yes, you have a health center, Wise Medicine, in Winterthur. And there are a lot of therapists working there. And if you make an overview of this health center, what components do you really need as a doctor to say, I really have to pick up my patients in a holistic way and also take them with me, treat them?
Well, that's the highest principle, that we look at the patients in a holistic way. Everything else is not optimal medicine for me.
And what does holistic mean? What do you have there now? So if someone comes with us now,
Well, of course we can cover everything in one center. We have 2 doctors and a few therapists. Physiotherapy, fashion therapy, nutrition counseling, neurofeedback, hormone counseling. These are the other areas that are not covered medically. And the doctors are integrative physicians, so trained school physicians who know about integrative medicine. So we offer treatments here that are hardly known elsewhere. We can do infusions, IHHT, ozone therapy, hypothermia, and so on. These are all well-documented alternative treatment options.
how would you act if someone came to you with overweight? I mean, we know the overweight people or people with weight problems, where you really know that they don't do so much wrong in their diet. Something else is not right. And you get a lot of frustrated people sitting in front of you who say, I do sports, I jog, I fast, I don't know, I eat ketogen, free of carbohydrates and so on. And they're still sitting there and the body is going crazy.
There are such people, Corina, but it's the minority. Most people have to do with malnutrition. Then it's not that difficult.
Okay.
Then you have to inform people what a good diet is. That's why we have nutrition consultants. But that costs extreme discipline. I can't do much about that. I can motivate people. Many are still motivated. Okay, I'll do something for 2 months. But then I want to eat like before. Then we don't even have to start. You have to make a decision. I change my lifestyle in all these areas that are necessary. Primarily, of course, nutrition and exercise. But that's very difficult for many. For example, cancer patients shouldn't eat sugar. You don't believe how difficult that is. It's about life and death. It's about a serious disease. But people don't want to give up their chocolates. What can I say about that?
What do you say to that? How does the intestinal flora, the intestinal bacteria, or maybe mushrooms, play a role in influencing our decision what we want to eat? Or is there a pressure, or addiction from within, where our mushroom in the intestine controls and not our desire?
No, it's not the mushrooms. It has to do with the psyche. We are dependent. It depends on how we grew up. I see children who only get sweets. And the mother says, yes, he just doesn't like the vegetables. And she lets it go. This child will have problems already in his youth. So how we grew up plays a big role. And of course that has all the nutrients. If you got used to sweets, vegetables don't taste good anymore. And that's very difficult to deal with. It would be very important to feed the children from an early age. But it's not a matter of upbringing. I want to focus more on the cases you mentioned at the beginning. There are people who do everything right. They eat almost nothing and still don't lose weight. There are these cases and these are the difficult ones. What do we do here?
Exactly. That's what I want to know now.
That's where we have to look at the intestinal function. If the intestine doesn't function properly, if it can't absorb these micronutrients, then the energy doesn't get into the body. The precondition to lose weight is a healthy intestine. And only here we need a few months to get it right. It takes discipline to get it right. But we need the micronutrients. Carbohydrate, fat, protein. Everyone knows that. But for us to be healthy and for the metabolism to work well, we need hundreds of micronutrients. I like to call them vital substances. And if they are missing, then something is wrong in the body. In every cell, the biochemical reactions work. We have 100,000 biochemical reactions per second in a cell. Imagine that. And if important micronutrients are missing, the energy is reduced. And that's a key for overweight, that it doesn't go down. I have to improve the energy so that the macronutrients, the carbohydrates are used well, burned. And that's why it starts with a healthy intestine. And we've already made a show about it, how to repair an intestine. I don't want to go into heavyweight now. You can take zeolite, multiferment, a probiotic. We also have a probiotic. There are 13 bacteria in it. But with prebiotics, prebiotics are the food for the bacteria. It has to be there. And my special product is called NeoVital. It really improves the intestine massively. But it takes months. And nutrition is also important. There are 400 diets in the world. There are no perfect ones.
How much nutritional knowledge does a general practitioner achieve in his studies?
Not much.
Did you ever have a lecture?
I never had a lecture on nutrition. That's the tragedy, probably. Especially in school medicine. We don't know the micronutrients that are absolutely crucial for health. It's coming slowly. There are now hundreds of studies that prove the importance of magnesium, selenium, zinc, etc. But there is much more.
I find the statement that causes cancer could be nutrition and lifestyle. If you ask if you can influence your cancer by nutrition, you can't. But the cause can be. But there is no solution.
I don't understand it either. We have known for 100 years that cancer lives from sugar. We do the PET-CT, a test where a sugar solution is marked, and it really flows into the cancer cells. But the patient is not told that he should not eat sugar.
What do you think of the 400 diets? Is there a perfect diet?
You have to know that you can't go on a zero diet. Many people think they eat nothing for 2 weeks and then they are 10 kilograms lighter. That doesn't work. You can't go on a zero diet if you want to lose weight. Otherwise, the body immediately changes to emergency. In the past, there were times of emergency. Then the body reacted that he saves his fat reserves for even more severe cases, and that's why you often see that after a week of fasting, you're not a gram lighter.
Und deswegen sieht man sehr oft, nach einer Woche Fasten ist man kein Gramm leichter.
The water may be 2 to 3 kilograms lighter, but that's not a weight loss.
Das ist kein Gewichtverlust.
The ideal is to eat a lot, but with substances that don't contain calories.
Mit Stoffen, die keine Kalorien enthalten. Also
Vegetables. You can eat as much as you want.
Also
At Weiss Medicine, we have a very intense diet, not suitable for everyone. For 4 weeks. It's really primarily about lowering the gut and metabolism. But not everyone wants that. If it's too hard for someone, we can still find a diet that is not so intense. For example, the simplest is to reduce carbohydrates. At 5 p.m. 0 carbohydrates. Really nothing. In the evening only a salad, vegetables with an egg or cheese. But no side dishes, no bread, no potatoes, nothing. That alone helps a lot. Then there is the 8 to 16 fasting, where you only eat for 8 hours and let your stomach rest. That also has positive effects. But there are cases where that is not enough.
What kind of challenges do women have? I often see the issue with water storage. Or all attempts failed with nutrition and metabolism, where the body simply does what it wants.
You mean your body is out of your control?
Exactly.
Hormones play a big role. Unfortunately, we have not learned too much about hormones. Progesterone is an important metabolic hormone. I only learned that it is needed for pregnancy, otherwise it is unimportant. I like to ask the gynecologists why the man has progesterone.
That's true.
That is so that we support women during pregnancy. Seriously. Progesterone is a metabolic hormone, not just that. The thyroid cannot function without progesterone, and the thyroid controls the whole metabolism. We need a good progesterone level. If we do not have enough progesterone, the metabolism slows down and it is difficult to lose it.
Now the question is, how do I determine the progesterone level and how do I supplement it?
Normally, you determine the hormones in the blood. I have been doing this for 10 years with saliva. My colleagues dislike it. But I am very successful with it. The reason is simple. In the blood I have standard values from here to here. Extremely far apart. 70 times from the lowest to the highest value. What should I start with? With saliva, I have such standards, sometimes only 30 to 40% between the lowest and highest value. So that the level is in the norm and not somewhere here. That means everything is good.
Especially with the hormone saliva test, you have to pay attention to the cycle day. You have to fill the saliva every half hour so that you can measure cortisol.
Of course, you can measure different hormones. But when it comes to losing weight, progesterone is in the foreground. Adrenal hormone also plays a role. If someone is overweight because he goes through incredibly difficult times and can no longer look at himself or has a lot of stress, then the cortisol level is high. If you are exhausted, then the value is too low. But that's not our topic here. Testosterone for women is also not unimportant. This is a male hormone. But the musculature, so that it can function fully, needs a little testosterone. The brain, by the way.
For us, it comes more to an estrogen surplus. These are factors that we can't influence, like plastic or residues, anti-baby pills, and so on. In general, some maybe even take artificial hormones. This is something that comes from the outside, which I can't do despite healthy nutrition and all attempts to counteract it.
I'm not a fan of artificial hormones. I prefer the bioidentical hormones. The hormones go through the skin transdermally in a few minutes and are very precisely dosable. When I swallow hormones, 70 to 80% are broken down through the liver. I don't know exactly what's arriving. I know very well about the skin. That's just one aspect. The metabolism has to be reduced. I also have to look at the sugar level.
Why does the metabolism have to be reduced? I want to have it up, so I burn more.
Not forever. I have to bring peace into my body. When I'm overweight, I have so many problems. Fat deposits are like reserves. I have to put it all back in the right direction. That's necessary, but it's easier when I go down to zero and build up again.
Let's talk about nutrition.
Sugar plays a role. Sugar is a light drug. For children, a heavy one. Don't forget that. It's more difficult to get children away from sugar than a smoker. Excess carbohydrates are stored in fat. I have to start there. My total carbohydrate content has to go down so that the body doesn't continue to build up fat reserves. The sugar level can be lowered with green coffee beans. It's called kefir, and with mulberry leaves.
I've never heard of green coffee beans. What do they do?
They are similar to L-carnitine. It's a lighter fat burner. You have to take it for months with a low success rate. If you don't change anything in your life, you may lose 3 to 4 kilograms in 6 months. It's a success for many people. Yes, it's not bad. But that's the convenient way. I want more. I need the cooperation of the patient. Morus Vida is the product called. It's simply milled, encapsulated mulberry leaves. They contain a substance deoxynitromucin, something like that. It's the only plant in the world that contains this substance. It has a sugar-reducing effect similar to the drug metformin.
And probably no side effects.
No.
It's strange that you can't patent something like that.
That's why you can't patent it. You can still do that. Of course, you can go to the gym to increase the energy. We also do IHHT with this patient.
Machen wir dann bei diesem Patienten auch IHHT. Ja, weil
That's the
das ist ja
goal.
das Ziel. Das
The
Ziel
goal
von
of IHHT
IHHT
is to improve the
Energie zu
energy.
verbessern. Und
And when the
der
body
Körper
has
wieder
more
mehr
energy,
Energie hat,
it
dann
burns more
verbrennt er
nutrients.
mehr Nährstoffe. Also es
It's
wird
not
dann nicht
stored
mehr
anymore,
abgelagert,
but
sondern
constantly
ständig
burned.
verbrannt. Also
I
diesen
recommend
Leuten empfehle ich dann
IHHT
so
20
20
times.
Mal ein IHHT, wenn es geht. Und, ja.
How far can I use
Inwieweit kann ich auch
hypothermia?
Hypothermie nutzen?
I have no
Da habe ich
experience.
keine Erfahrung.
We
Also,
need hypothermia in
Hypothermie
tumors and in
bei
athletes,
Tumoren
but
und
not in overweight.
Sportlern, ja, aber nicht jetzt bei Übergewicht.
Ach was,
Ja.
okay.
I went through the whole
Also ich
procedure
habe
with
ja
the
das ganze
hormones.
Prozedere auch durch mit den Hormonen. Und
I have to
ich muss
say,
sagen,
I
ich
did
habe
the
den
hypothermia
Effekt
and read
bemerkt
into it a bit.
und habe mich da auch ein bisschen nochmal reingelesen. Es
It
hat wohl
also
auch
has a
einen
regulatory effect on the hormones. Me, at least I had a positive effect.
Also auch den ganzen, also ich hatte einen positiven Effekt auch was.
Full body hypothermia?
Ja, genau.
Yes.
The body is stimulated by the heat. It also has a great effect on hormone regulation.
Gerade bei diesen ganzen Disbalancen hat es wohl wirklich eine tolle Effekt.
IHHT also has that.
Das ist das Unglaubliche.
IHHT is so simple and it improves almost everything from head to toe.
Fast alles. Also auch die Drüsentätigkeit wird
We have a
angeregt.
higher hormone level
Damit
in the
haben wir
body.
höhere Hormonspiegel, ohne etwas zuzuführen. Oder?
Ja,
It's
ja,
basically
das ist
just a
ja-
altitude
und
training,
das ist ja
right?
im Grunde nur ein Höhentraining, oder?
Ja.
Yes,
Ja.
Ja, also,
it depends on how far you go down.
runtergeht, und da müssen
You
wir
have to
immer
approach people individually.
auf die Leute eingehen. Also
You
man
have
muss
to
sehr
start very
vorsichtig
carefully.
anfangen.
Then we
Eben
go
nur
down to
bis zu
80%
80%
oxygen saturation.
Sauerstoffsättigung, und das entspricht
That
einer
corresponds to a height of
Bewegung
almost
knapp
6,000
6.000
meters.
Ja.
Nice.
Schön.
What other
Was haben wir noch
possibilities do we
für
have if you sum it
Möglichkeiten, wenn
up?
du zusammenfassen würdest und echt sagst, okay,
When it
beim
comes to
Thema
overweight,
Übergewicht sind
these
einfach
are the
jetzt so
absolute top 10
die
to-dos that
absoluten
every viewer
Top
can
10
take with them.
To-dos, wo jetzt einfach jeder Zuschauer für sich mal
Ja.
mitnehmen darf.
Gut,
Let's sum it
also
up.
fassen wir zusammen.
Consume
Ernährung
nutrition without a
beachten.
clear diet.
Ohne klare Diät. Oder? Es
There
gibt
are
schon
diets.
Diäten, oder? Also
Weight Watchers,
Atkins
but
oder
in
weiss nicht
general
was,
there is a
oder,
yo-yo effect.
Weight Watchers, das funktioniert schon auch, aber in der Regel gibt es dort einen Jojo-Effekt.
We want to prevent that. Healthy
gesunde
diet.
Ernährung, es geht eine
It's about a
bewusste,
fundamentally new
neue
attitude to my
Einstellung
diet.
zu meiner Ernährung. Ich
I
muss
really
meinen
have to improve my
Lebensstil
lifestyle.
wirklich verbessern. Das ist
That's
Nummer
number
1.
one.
Nummer 2,
Number two, gut health.
Darmsanierung. Ohne
Without a
einen
healthy
gesunden
gut,
Darm kann
I
ich
can't
nicht
lose
abnehmen.
anything.
Ich muss
I have to
den
get the
Darm
gut
so
to the
weit bringen,
point
dass
where
er
it
alle
absorbs
auch die
all
Mikronährstoffe
micronutrients
gut
well.
aufnimmt.
Number three would be to
Nummer
take a
3
look at the
wären die Hormone,
hormones.
die wir anschauen.
Number
Nummer
4,
4,
the additional
zusätzlichen
substances like
Stoffe
mulberry
wie
leaves or green
Maulbeerblätter
coffee
oder
beans.
grüne Kaffeebohnen.
And number
Und
5 is the
5 ist
HHT.
IHHT. Das sind
That's
so,
my
das ist mein
step-by-step plan.
Stufenplan.
Great.
Ja,
At least it
hört sich
sounds
gut an.
good.
Zumindest mal nebenwirkungsfrei.
Integrative medicine is almost always without side effects.
Das finde ich ja echt.
I think that's really nice. Thank you
Vielen
very
Dank, lieber
much,
Heinz,
dear Heinz,
dass
for
du
being on the
heute
ball.
noch ja so motiviert am Ball bist. auch
Also in
deinem
your center,
Zentrum
where so many
mit
doctors and
Ärzten
experts work
Kompetenten
together.
zusammenarbeitest, dass man wirklich da ja die
So we get
Medizin
integrative
auch dran
medicine.
bekommen.
For
Für alle
everyone, of
natürlich
course.
auch.
See you
Und bis
soon,
bald hoffentlich.
hopefully.
Dankeschön.
Thank you.
Liebe
Dear
Zuschauer,
viewers,
ja,
losing
abnehmen
weight is a
ein
hot topic,
Dauerbrenner
but it's always
Thema,
interesting
aber
to
es ist
have
auch
so
immer
many
wieder
ways of
interessant,
tackling
diese
it and find a
Möglichkeiten. Wir haben
solution
auch
for yourself.
nochmal verschiedene Facetten dabei anzuschauen und vielleicht auch dann die individuelle Lösung für sich selbst zu finden. Ich
I
wünsche
wish
Ihnen
you
alles
all the
Gute, vielen Dank
best.
fürs Zuschauen. Bis
Thank you
bald.
for
Tschüss.
watching. See you soon.